Now, so far, we've connected to wireless networks under Windows and wireless networks under Mac OS. So we've got a handle on how to do the Wi-Fi configuration under those two operating systems. Now we're going to take a look at how we can configure wireless networks in Linux. If you've got a Linux system with a wireless interface card, you can actually connect your wireless network in through your Linux system. So we're going to just do a quick walkthrough on how you would go about doing that. It used to be you had to do a lot of manual configuration. You had to edit configuration files. If you were using encryption, there were a lot of weird things that you had to do. Fortunately, we've come a long way since then, and it's much, much easier now. If you've got something like this little connector icon that I've got down here in my status bar, you can see that I'm connected with my wired network. And if I want to connect to a wireless network, I can select one that I want to connect to, and it's going to prompt me for my password, just as you would in other operating systems. Once it's all connected, we should get the message box indicating that we're actually connected. So now we're connected, and if I click down here in the status bar, you can see that Infinite Wi-Fi shows up here with a dot next to it. That indicates that I'm actually connected there. Now, all wireless network cards require drivers, just like any other device requires a driver. If you don't happen to have a wireless interface card that has a Linux driver directly, you can use the NDIS wrapper. So let me just search for NDIS wrapper. And if I scroll all the way up here, you'll see the very top result is Mint Wi-Fi. So there are a collection of drivers that would allow you to configure your wireless card through the NDIS wrapper. Down below, we've got NDIS wrapper common and NDIS GTK, which is a graphical front end for NDIS wrapper, so you don't have to do the manipulation through the command line or editing any config files. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to install NDIS GTK, which is the graphical front end. Now, once I've got that installed, what I'm going to be able to do is we're just going to run NDIS GTK, and it's going to bring up a little user interface. So here, I can just install my new driver. I can select a driver that I've downloaded from a Windows installation, and then it will actually install the driver for me. It will do all of the work. So we're looking for the .inf file from the driver installation. If you've got a wireless interface card, if it doesn't have a Linux driver that you can use, whether one that's built into the kernel or maybe one that the vendor supplies, you can use your Windows driver in order to get your wireless network card working under Linux. You can just use the NDIS wrapper, and then if you want, you can just use NDIS GTK that's going to install the driver for you, and then you can do all of the installation work that you need to directly from this graphical user interface. But as I said, it's really easy to do wireless configuration if you've got a modern Linux distribution. Typically, it's all GUI based, just like Windows and Mac OS are. And all you need to do is bring up your list of wireless networks, connect, enter your password, and you're connected.